Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 5. We are getting into unit number 5 today, and we had a bevy of flurry of activities last night and this morning. So I want to go over just a few things with just general stuff. So let me share the screen. One of the things I think caused a little flurry last night was I posted this yesterday. Some people had already turned in work. So, of course, maybe there were some last minute changes that people wanted to make. But I really want to go over this announcement from yesterday because this is true. The things that are in here are true of almost every single writing assignment that we have. And we still are having some struggles with setting up our documents or putting documents, attaching documents to the assignment as opposed to just trying to type in a box. So it is super, 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 super important that you get in the hang of this, of doing this, because anytime you have a writing assignment for a college class, this is what is going to be required at post. So you have to have a word processing program of some kind. Now you can use Google Docs, you can use free online systems. That's absolutely fine, but you have to have some way for you to type your papers and save them as a Word document or a PDF file. Google Docs will allow you to export to Word and save as PDF and all that stuff. So if you're using Google Docs, it's absolutely fine. Sometimes the instructions on how to make it look right in Google Docs is a little bit harder as opposed to if you have a version of Microsoft Word. I would encourage you to get a version of Microsoft Word. As a student, you have access to very inexpensive versions of all the Microsoft products. I know it can be an expense, but it is something that you are going to need because your writing assignments should be written in a professional word processing program or app and then upload it. That brings up another really important thing. I think one of the things that makes online college classes difficult is that a lot of people, I feel these days, are trying to do their work either on their phones or using a tablet. And the versions of some of the things that we have for tablets or for any mobile thing, so a phone or a tablet, the version of Blackboard does not look the same as it does on a computer. So I would really strongly encourage you to only do your schoolwork either on a laptop or a desktop. If you don't have access to one, Post does have some programs to help you get the equipment that you need to do your schoolwork. So reach out to your ASC and talk to them about it if that's a need. Personally, when I have been without computers, and I have been without computers many times in my life, there is a beautiful place. It's called the public library, and using computers there, you can do it for free. They will always also have all the programs that you need, like Microsoft Word. So using a public computer can be a real lifesaver. The main thing is that Blackboard really should be opened on a full size screen in a full size computer. Even the tablet version is not as functional as the laptop and desktop version. So with that in mind, every time you do one of these formal writing assignments, you want to make sure you're doing it on a real computer, that you're using a processing program, whether it's Word or some other one, but you want to have access to a real place to type and save your work. You want to save it to either your computer or to the cloud. If you are using public computers, like in a library, flash drives have become so inexpensive now, and they will hold a lot of information, especially when we're talking about plain Word files. So you can always use that. If you don't want to use the cloud, you can use a USB drive to save your work on. and then it will be available to you forever. That's the other downside of just trying to type in a box and never save anything, is that you don't have access to it again. So it's really just a good thing to get in the habit of doing all over the place. Your documents should have a cover page. They should have the page number in the header. All of your documents will start on page 2 in terms of the actual content. They will be double spaced. You want to indent the first line of each paragraph a half an inch. You can use the tab key to do that. And then on the references page, you want to have completed APA citations with a hanging indent. They need to be in alphabetical order, and titles that need it will be in italics. When you copy and paste from the library, which is never a bad idea, you sometimes do have to redo some of those things like the italics and that sort of stuff. But when you're using good library sources, you should also be able to pull the real, complete, 100% perfect APA citation. When you are writing, and this will be true not only of Unit 4, but it will be true in the upcoming actual research paper, for the argument paper, every time you have a paragraph, you should have something in the body. Every time you have a body paragraph in your essay, you should have something from research. Sometimes you will want to quote them directly, as we did practice back in Unit 2. Other times you will want to use paraphrase, which is what we've hopefully been practicing well here in Unit 4 that you submitted last night. You do want to use library sources for your research. You do not really want to use any websites. Get all your research from the library. You want to write in third person objective voice. And that doesn't mean that you have to talk about yourself in third person. It just means that when you're writing for academic purposes, you don't want to say, I think this, or I feel this, or I read this. You want to make your statement and then prove it with good information. In your body paragraphs, you should always have a clear topic sentence that kicks off the paragraph. Each of your body paragraphs should be about 7 to 9 sentences per paragraph. You also want to make use of the tools available to you. Spell and grammar check, Grammarly, use the Tutor Me system to get some extra help with things and that sort of stuff. And then, of course, in Unit 4, 5, and 7, the assignments that you're going to turn in are also going to be related to your chosen topic from that list that's on the screen right now. You have 3 basic choices for your argument paper. Last week you wrote a pro and con. This week you're going to write the introduction, the first paragraph to your argument paper. And then in week 7, of course, you'll turn in the whole thing, which will have an introduction and a conclusion and multiple body paragraphs that give the reasons that you to support your position, and then use research to back your own thoughts up. You are also always welcome to reach out to me, of course, with any questions. If you need some extra help, I am available. We can always set up a time to meet via Zoom or whatever. So there's really no reason not to succeed on these. It is not easy, but if it was easy, it wouldn't be a college degree that you're going to earn, right? So keep that in mind. These are skills that you are going to use in every class from now on. So please, 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 if you are feeling like you're not doing well with this, or especially when you get the feedback on Unit 4, if there's problems with it, now is the time to learn this. This is why we're all in English 110. I also want to reiterate that I do have several people that I have asked for a revision of Unit 2 because of issues or problems with it. If you have been asked for a revision and have not submitted one yet, it is really important that you get that in as soon as possible, because all of these skills are needed for that argument paper. So we really need to get caught up with that. Reach out to me by email. Let's make a time to get together if we need to, or just go ahead and get it turned in as soon as you possibly can. All right. So in terms of this unit, we are, like I said, going to write an the beginning of your argument essay. So the readings and resources, of course, all surround the kinds of things that we want to think about with argument, persuasive writing, fact, opinion, and bias. And then we have a sample introductory paragraph. I absolutely need to make sure that you understand, though, cyberbullying is not one of our potential topics. This is an example paragraph that is purposely not one of the ones that you can choose from, because of course we don't want to write anyone's introduction for them or tempt people into plagiarizing this. So this is just a sample, but it does give you a good example of how an introduction will look. Okay. All right, so those are your readings and resources. As usual, make sure you learn before you try to earn the points on the assignments. Your opinion, or your Unit 5 discussion board, is fact versus opinion. What would you consider to be the biggest difference between a fact and an opinion? How would you use a fact in your writing, and how would you use opinion in your writing? And you do use opinion in argumentative writing. Why do you think that people get them confused? And then, of course, the fun part of this assignment is to provide two statements at the end of your post. Just call them statement 1 and statement 2. One should be a fact and one should be an opinion, and you don't want to state which is which. And that's what you're going to focus on when you respond to your fellow classmates, is determining which of their statements is a fact and which is an opinion, and what makes you say that. For the Unit 5 writing assignment, you're writing, again, just a single paragraph this time. It should be one single paragraph, but you will have a cover page. And if you use any quotes or paraphrased information from research, you may have a reference page too, although most of the time you can write an introduction without using any research. So if you do, though, make sure you do cite it internally and on that reference page. You've got 2 links this week for the assignment sheets. The first one is the one for the argument essay as a whole. This is the one that is due at the end of week 7, but this is a really good thing to look at, because this will tell you the contents of the paper that you are introducing in the Unit 5 assignment. And so then you can click on the Unit 5 assignment. This is the one that's due this week, but it is really literally only the introductory paragraph. So this gives you some ideas to think about. There are a lot of really good websites, especially the OWL at Purdue, that talk about different things that you can do in an introductory paragraph. And then your final sentence needs to be the main thesis, which will be the argument of your essay. So whatever your position is, but again, you don't have to say, I think free speech should be regulated. It will say free speech should be regulated on social media, or social media should not have the power to regulate free speech, whatever the case may be. That will be your ending sentence. And you can also list the reasons in that final sentence as well. All right, but set it up just like you did last unit. It's got to be a Word document or a PDF. It's got to have a cover page. It's got to have the information. The actual document starts on page 2, double spacing, all the same things that we've been working on. And if you have questions or problems with the APA, just come over here to the 7th edition information, and all of the materials and resources that you need are right here. Okay. All right. I will probably also post some additional things for next week, for this week, in the middle of the week. So keep an eye out for those as well. All right. So I hope everyone has a great week 5, and I will see you back here next Monday for more fun and excitement.